gentle wanderers. It's Maya Cat, here to whisk you away into a world of wonder and wisdom. Hope is a powerful, life-affirming force. It inspires us, fuels our dreams, and gives us a reason to rise each morning with purpose and passion. That's why we're excited to unveil the Hope Horoscope for September 2025 for all 12 Zodiacs, a special guide designed to uplift your spirit, spark positivity, and remind you of the endless possibilities that lie ahead. My trusted co-host Brian is here to guide us through the twists and turns. Grab your journal, your tea, or whatever fuels your soul, and let's get started. Brian, take the wheel.
Taking the wheel now, Maya. Don't worry, I won't crash it. All right, team, let's roll. Aries, the cosmic reckoning, when the ram becomes the storm. Aries, fiery, fearless, firstborn of the zodiac, you who charge into life like a comet with a grudge, who wear your passion like a crown and your impatience like a battle scar. You who were never meant to whisper when you were born to roar. Well, listen closely, warrior, because in September 2025, the universe has decided to fight on your side. This is not just a month, it is a karmic portal, flung open with the kind of celestial drama usually reserved for divine interventions and Netflix finales. Masks are ripped off, shadows are exposed, and the cosmic rulebook has been updated with one ironclad law: thou shalt not mess with an Aries, not with words, not with deeds, not even with a sideways glance. Because karma, that elegant silent assassin, has taken up residence in your corner, and it does not forgive. Any ill will cast your way, it will return, faster than your morning coffee kicks in. Every insult, every manipulation, every petty jab aimed at your spirit will boomerang back to its sender with the precision of a guided missile. And you, Aries, you won't even have to lift a finger. You'll simply stand there, radiating that natural, unbothered glow while the universe handles the rest. Because now you're not just a sign, you're a conduit of cosmic justice. Your energy is shielded, your path is lit, and your guardian angel, oh, they're not just watching, they're on duty, armed with divine receipts and a zero-tolerance policy for fools. Saturn turns retrograde, September 1st. The universe hits rewind on the 1st of September. Saturn, the stern taskmaster, the keeper of karmic ledgers, begins its retrograde journey through Pisces, slipping into your 12th house like a detective uncovering buried secrets. This is not a quiet shift. This is the cosmic court reopening old cases, those hidden betrayals, the silent sabotage, the years of emotional debt no one thought would ever be collected. From this day forward, the universe begins its cosmic audit. And guess who's on the audit list? Everyone who ever tried to undermine you, envy you, or quietly wish you'd just stop being so damn bright. Saturn in Pisces doesn't deliver thunder, it delivers erasure. It strips away influence, access, and the ability to manipulate others. It doesn't scream, it simply uninvites the offenders from your reality. Suddenly that friend who always spoke ill of you behind your back, their social circle turns cold. That colleague who stole your ideas and passed them off as their own, they're caught in a plagiarism scandal, naturally. The relative who weaponized guilt to control you, now met with silence, distance, and the quiet collapse of their emotional leverage. And you, Aries, you don't plot, you don't retaliate, you simply exist. And in your presence, falsehoods unravel. Your intuition sharpens like a blade. You can feel the fakes now. The liars, the jealous ones, the emotional vampires, all of them suddenly look transparent, like someone turned on a blacklight in a room full of invisible ink. The weight you've carried, the tension, the constant need to prove yourself begins to dissolve. Daily life, once a battlefield, starts to flow again. This isn't luck, it's pressure release. The burden wasn't yours to carry, it was projected onto you. And now the projectors are losing power. So remember, anyone who tries to squeeze you in September, they'll only squeeze themselves, right to the edge of their own undoing. Mars square Jupiter, September 4th. The diplomatic war by the 4th. Mars, your ruling planet, that glorious god of war, forms a tense square with Jupiter in Cancer. But here's the twist. Mars is in Libra, the sign of diplomacy, balance, and passive-aggressive compliments. So instead of charging in with a sword, you're entering the arena with a smile, a well-placed compliment, and a hidden dagger up your sleeve. This transit activates your 4th and 7th houses, your home, family, and partnerships. And it's here that the universe draws a line in the sand. Your boundaries are not negotiable. Anyone who tries to help by criticizing, controlling, or offering unsolicited advice about your life, especially your love life, will face instant karmic recoil. That meddling co-worker who tried to stir drama at work now finds themselves in the drama with no way out. The so-called wise friend who constantly undermines your parenting suddenly loses authority with their own children. The family member who weaponized guilt to keep you small, now met with cold silence from the very people they once manipulated. This is not punishment, this is exposure. The mask of "I'm just trying to help" slips, revealing the control, the jealousy, the quiet resentment beneath. And once it's seen, it can't be unseen. But how do you respond, Aries? With silence, with grace, with the power of disengagement. You don't argue, you don't explain, you simply step back. And in that quiet retreat, the aggressor is left alone with their own emotions, no one to project onto, no one to blame. It's like cutting the puppet strings and watching the puppet fall. Your guardian angel still right there, still watching, still whispering. Let them dig their own grave, you just keep walking. Lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 7th, the ultraviolet truth. On the 7th, the moon darkens in Pisces, bringing a total lunar eclipse to your 12th house, the realm of secrets, the subconscious, and all that has been hidden. This is not a dramatic explosion, it's a silent unveiling. Imagine someone turning on an ultraviolet light in a room full of invisible stains. Suddenly, everything that was once hidden, envy, deceit, emotional dishonesty, glows in the dark. Those who pretended to be your friend, they begin to slip. A snide comment here, a poorly disguised jab there. The one who competed with you from the shadows accidentally reveals their jealousy in a joke. The one who carried guilt but never confessed finds themselves in a situation where everyone knows but no one says a word because words are no longer needed. The silence speaks volumes. And those who built their peace on your suffering, they are isolated not by your doing, by the universe's. The 9th house, the house of higher truth, doesn't humiliate, it removes. And so the schemers are left alone with the mess they created, with no way to spin it, no way to escape. Meanwhile, you, Aries, feel a profound lightness, like a veil has lifted. Toxic ties dissolve, emotional leeches vanish, the guilt you carried for others' actions, gone. You no longer have to justify your strength, your fire, your right to exist fully. The space around you clears, not with drama, but with stillness. And in that stillness, what remains is real. What remains is yours. Mercury Kazumi in Virgo, September 13th. The mind awakens 6 days after the eclipse. Mercury, the planet of mind, message, and mastery, enters the heart of the sun in Virgo, a rare phenomenon known as Kazumi. This is not just clarity, this is laser-focused genius. The fog has lifted, the noise has stopped. And now your intellect operates at divine frequency, where others are stumbling, confused, misspeaking, collapsing under the weight of their own lies. You are crystal clear, your thoughts are sharp, your words are precise, your decisions are unshakable. This is the moment you gather the pieces. Who am I? Who is with me? What comes next? And the answers come not from doubt, but from deep, unwavering knowing. For those still playing karmic games against you, chaos reigns, miscommunication, work conflicts, even psychosomatic stress, because the 6th house, now activated, punishes those who built their stability on your instability. The caring workaholic who drained your energy, now facing burnout. The wise manipulator, their systems collapse. But for you, Aries, clean deals, successful interviews, connections that turn into real support. You finally see, not just with your eyes, but with your soul, who is aligned with your truth. And Mercury, in its golden moment, cements these decisions into the architecture of your fate. What you build now will hold. What you speak now will stand. Solar eclipse in Virgo, September 21st, the silent reboot. On the 21st, a partial solar eclipse in Virgo activates your 6th house. Your health, your routines, your daily life. This is not a crash, it is a silent system update. The universe reboots your internal software, removing viruses, clearing cache, and installing a new, more powerful operating system. Everything that didn't serve you, bad habits, draining relationships, financial leaks, simply stops working. And what remains? Strength, stability, flow. Money returns to those who never stole it. Ideas, recognition, influence, everything taken from you now avoids the thieves like a curse. They lose jobs, they lose trust, they drown in bureaucracy. But you feel the natural return, not through miracles, but through justice. Payments arrive, debts are repaid, small projects yield unexpected returns. Your daily grind begins to mean something. And in your personal life, the fake connections fall away. The ones who were there out of habit, not heart, vanish. In their place come people of integrity, honest, grounded, mature, not drama, not games, just realness. The kind of presence that lets you rest, lets you be soft, lets you not be the warrior for once. Because even Aries needs a sanctuary, and now you have one. The final word, you are not the storm, you are the calm after. So here it is, Aries. September 2025 is not just a turning point, it is your coronation. The battle is over, not because you won, but because the enemy's disappeared. The noise is gone, the struggle has ended, and in its place, silence, stability, sovereignty. You don't have to fight anymore, you don't have to prove anything, you don't have to explain. The universe has spoken, your guardian angel is smiling, and your karma, it's not coming, it's already here. Taurus, September 2025 is the golden reckoning. Oh, Taurus, steady, grounded, patient as the roots of an ancient oak. You who measure life not in flashes of fire, but in the slow, steady growth of something real. You who've built your world brick by brick while the universe tested your resolve with silence, delay, and the quiet ache of being forgotten. Well, listen closely, Bull, because September 2025 is not a forecast, it is a prophecy. And if you've been waiting for a sign, the stars have just shouted your name. This is not a gentle shift. This is a cosmic explosion, not metaphorically, but karmically. On September 7th, a total lunar eclipse in Pisces tears time in two. Before and after, the old fate is erased, the map is redrawn, and suddenly everything you've planted begins to bloom, all at once. Money surges in your second house like a river breaking its banks. Love walks in through your 11th house like a guest who was always meant to arrive. And your inner courage, long buried under layers of caution, rises like a lion from hibernation. Because now, Taurus, the earth beneath your feet isn't just stable, it's charged. And Venus, the planet of beauty, value, and your celestial guardian, moves through your houses of wealth, love, and peace with such precision that even Uranus and Chiron might pause to admire the choreography. Part 1. The financial earthquake. When the gold finds you from the very first breath of September, the universe doesn't just nudge you toward abundance. It slides a sack of gold under your door and walks away whistling. The question is, will you notice it? You, Taurus, are not a dreamer like Gemini. You don't perform for attention like Leo. You build, you invest, you wait. And now, after years, some of you since 2020, are feeling drained, defeated, spiritually bankrupt, the wheel has turned. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and divine favor, enters your second house, the realm of money, self-worth, and material security. And this is not a polite visit, this is a takeover. Suddenly, money arrives from unexpected places. A long overdue repayment. A bonus that feels like a miracle. A grant, an inheritance, a forgotten idea that suddenly starts printing cash. This isn't luck. It's cosmic repayment for your patience, your discipline, your refusal to give up even when the world looked away. And yes, there are those who envy you, who whisper behind your back, who project their lack onto your abundance. But now, they're powerless. Karma is not just on your side, it's wearing your armor. Saturn, the stern teacher, spent months testing you, forcing you to refine your circle, to build structure, to earn your reputation. And now, during the eclipse, Saturn steps aside and Jupiter hits the gas. The money flows to those who created real value, to those who delegated wisely, who protected their integrity, who didn't cut corners. The probation period is over. The universe has approved your application for prosperity, and now it rolls out the red carpet. This is the perfect moment to launch that financial project. Monetize your hobby. Seek sponsors. Transition to remote work with global teams, and if you're unsure where to start, look at your hands, your voice, your taste, your stability. These are your treasures. Whether you're a chef, an artist, a coach, a builder, your craft is currency now. Focus on September 3rd, 9th, and 21st, 27th, when planetary energy supercharges your zones of wealth. Second house, money and self-worth. Fifth house, creativity and pleasure. 11th house, community-based income. Fourth house, inner security and home-based power. On these days you'll feel it, a quiet whisper from the cosmos. Here, take it, you've earned it. Part 2, love. When the heart finally catches up, our love, the one thing even the most grounded Taurus can't fully control. But in mid-September, 13th, 17th, the stars conspire to change that. On the 13th, Mars enters your 6th house, the domain of self-improvement. And suddenly, you're not just wanting love, you're preparing for it. you start working out. You update your style, you clean up your inner world, not to impress anyone, but because you want to feel vibrant again. Then Mercury and the Sun move into your 5th and 11th houses, igniting the season of love. This is not romance by schedule, this is fate knocking with both fists. For Taurus women, something shifts. You notice eyes on you, new ones, intense ones, messages from people who've been silent for years, and in your own gaze, a spark, not just attraction, something deeper. As if you're meeting someone who already knew you in another life, another dream. And for Taurus men, she appears unexpectedly through a project, a friend, a random encounter. You didn't plan it, but now you can't stop thinking about her. She doesn't demand, she doesn't play games, she simply exists, and in her presence you feel awake. This is not a fling, this is a realignment. And the universe protects your space now. No more emotional predators, no more young lovers hunting your wallet under the guise of affection. The energy of September cuts through greed, only the sincere remain. 5th house plus 11th house equals sign, love through community, shared purpose, events. 6th house equals sign, you transformed by love before it even arrives. So go where you wouldn't normally go. Say hello first, speak plainly. September is not the month for cautious games, it's the month for real things. And yes, this window could change not just your relationship status, but the entire trajectory of your life. Part 3. The Renaissance, when you become the source. From September 18th to 30th, the final act unfolds. What if everything you've built, every late night, every silent sacrifice, finally comes together? What if you're no longer just surviving, but creating your reality? The sun in your 5th house makes you shine. You create, you speak, you inspire. This isn't just energy, this is reunion with the truest version of yourself. Mercury in your 11th house floods you with ideas, conversations flow, people listen. You're no longer on the sidelines, you're part of something bigger, and it fuels you. And Venus in your 4th house, this is the master stroke. After years of inner turbulence, doubt, loss, you finally come home to yourself. Not a fragile peace, not a temporary calm, but a solid platform, like bedrock beneath your feet. You can finally relax, not because you've won, but because you no longer need to fight. You can trust, you can receive. This is soul renewal, like someone opening a window on a spring morning and letting light and silence pour in. Your emotions shift, from anxiety to peace, from doubt to certainty, from exhaustion to enduring strength, and you whisper, I can, I am, I'm okay, and it's going to get better. That, dear Taurus, is true inner balance. Now for work and legacy. If employed, promotions, key conversations, project shifts. If in business, scaling. Visibility, social media breakthroughs. September 20th, 25th. Watch for emails, calls, meetings that change your status. For Taurus men, this is your Kris Kringle moment. Mars pushes you, build something of your own. Stop depending. September 22nd and 26th. Ideal for launching a business or stepping into greater influence. For Taurus women, you reclaim your boundaries, your space, your brand. You start that blog, that course, that project, and by September 28th, 30th, confirmation arrives. You are on the right path. The final word, this is not a month, it is a turning point. So here it is, Taurus. September 2025 is not just another chapter. It is the bridge between a past filled with struggle and a future of stability, clarity, and rich, meaningful work. This is not coincidence, this is karmic alignment. This is the moment you stop waiting and start receiving. You walked, you waited, you built. Now, take it. Let this month be your turning point. Let every day be a step toward abundance. And when someone asks, when did you start living your real life? Smile and say, in September 2025, that's when the stars finally spoke to me. And I answered, to all, peace, prosperity, and very good taste. Dear Gemini, September 2025 is the month of your cosmic reckoning. The cosmos does not knock before entering. It does not whisper warnings into the wind or send gentle omens through dreams. No, it arrives like a storm that has been gathering since the beginning of time, silent, inevitable, and utterly merciless. September 2025 swings open the celestial gate, and through it pours a tide of karmic truth so potent that every secret, every buried lie, every unspoken betrayal begins to thrum with life. The universe, it seems, has grown tired of pretense. And at the eye of this galactic hurricane stand the twins, Gemini, children of air and wit, masters of perception, now armored in the quiet fire of divine justice. This is not a month for forgiveness. This is a month of clearing, of pruning the soul's garden with shears forged in starlight. And woe to those who thought they could press upon the twins through emotional manipulation, passive aggression, veiled threats, or the slow poison of silent control. For every such attempt now triggers a cosmic boomerang, one that returns not with a whimper, but with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel and the sting of a scorpion's tail. There is no evasion, no loophole, no second chance. The ledger is open, and every debt must be paid. And let it be known the twins have activated a force field so potent it hums at the frequency of do not touch. It is not anger, it is not drama. It is simply an energetic boundary so absolute that even the most cunning manipulator will find their fingers passing through empty air, like a ghost reaching for a flame. Those who ignore this warning do so at their own peril. The universe has declared hands off the twins, the turning of Saturn, September 1st. On the first day of the month, Saturn, the great taskmaster, the keeper of karmic law, begins its retrograde dance in Pisces, settling into the 12th house, the realm of secrets, endings, and subconscious reckoning. From this very moment, a mechanism is set in motion, one that cannot be halted by prayer, denial, or clever maneuvering. It is the beginning of the return of all things hidden, especially those deeds committed in shadows against the twins, those who have used silence as a weapon, who have whispered behind backs, weaponized guilt, or tried to shrink the twins with sideways glances and condescending tones, will now find themselves beneath the wheel, and the crushing will not come with thunder, it will come in silence, in the slow unraveling of their world, in the sudden collapse of trust, in the eerie realization that no one is listening anymore. The ground beneath them erodes, not with a quake, but with a whisper. Meanwhile, the twins exhale. The pressure lifts. The air around them clears like morning mist burned away by dawn. They no longer need to prove anything. They do not argue. They do not beg. They simply step aside, and in that graceful retreat, deliver a blow more devastating than any scream. For the greatest power of Gemini is not confrontation. It is disappearance, and when they vanish, the void they leave behind echoes louder than any accusation. The Mars-Jupiter conjunction, September 4th. By the 4th, Mars strides into Libra, igniting the 7th house of partnerships, while Jupiter in Cancer expands the 2nd house of self-worth. The message is clear. Do not mess with Gemini women, especially in love. This is not a suggestion, it is a cosmic subpoena. Mars in Libra sharpens the edge of relationships, turning every imbalance into a wound. Jupiter in Cancer drags the question of value into the light. Who deserves respect? Who has earned loyalty? And anyone who dares to encroach upon a Gemini's personal space, especially with romantic ambitions, will find themselves caught in a karmic net of their own weaving. Consider the so-called friend who quietly coveted the Gemini's partner, whispering to herself, "He'd be better with me. She's too flighty. It's only a matter of time." She smirks behind closed doors, imagining her quiet conquest. But now, the universe laughs back. Her intentions surface, not through scandal, but through the quiet unraveling of her own credibility. Perhaps the man begins to avoid her, sensing the venom beneath her sweetness. Or perhaps a mutual friend, in a moment of careless honesty, blurts out what everyone already knew. The mask slips, and once it does, it cannot be reattached. Her punishment is not public shaming, it's isolation. Invitations cease, conversations dry up. She becomes a ghost at the table, greeted with polite smiles and cold silences. The air around her grows thin, as if even the oxygen refuses to serve her. And she realizes too late that she is no longer considered one of them. Meanwhile, the Gemini woman, once criticized for her style, her freedom, her refusal to conform, now stands in a halo of quiet power. Those who mocked her suddenly find themselves under scrutiny. At work, questions pile up. At home, old mistakes are resurrected, allies fall silent. And in that silence, a verdict is delivered. You were never as right as you thought you were. The twins do not lift a finger. They are already elsewhere, elevated, untouchable, watching the collapse with the calm of those who have seen the script all along. The lunar eclipse, September 7th. On the 7th, the moon darkens in Pisces, casting a shadow over the 12th house. This is not an eclipse of spectacle, but of exposure. What was locked away, hidden debts, secret betrayals, financial deceit, now claws its way into the light. The veil is torn. Gemini, sign of air and intellect, possesses an intuition so sharp it borders on clairvoyance. They see what others miss. They hear the tremor in a voice, the flicker in an eye, the lie behind a smile. And now that intuition is weaponized by the cosmos itself. Those who have withheld money, who have played games behind Gemini's back, who have used their trust as a ladder to climb, will feel the floor give way. Their schemes collapse, their luck evaporates. The wealth they tried to block from the twins now turns its back on them, draining like sand through clenched fists. And here is the cruelest twist. The twins do not fight. They do not accuse. They simply disappear. And in their absence, the liar is left alone with their own deception, a prisoner in a cell of their own making, with no key, no alibi, no escape. The silence becomes the sentence. For the twins, this is liberation. For their enemies, it is the slow suffocation of being seen for who they truly are. Mercury conjunct the Sun, September 13th of September. Mercury, ruler of Gemini, aligns with the Sun in Virgo 6th house. The moment of intellectual apotheosis. The mind of the twin becomes a blade of pure clarity, cutting through illusion with surgical precision. They see the whole board, they trace the threads of deception. And when they speak, their words are not arguments, they are verdicts. To insult a Gemini now, to spread rumors or type venom into the void of social media is not just foolish, it is suicidal, especially when the Gemini in question is a young woman, radiant, articulate, her words like lightning in a clear sky. Any attempt to drag her into the mud results not in her downfall, but in the self-immolation of the attacker. The slanderer stumbles, contradictions emerge, lies unravel, and suddenly the accuser becomes the accused, exposed, ridiculed, reduced to a meme, a cautionary tale whispered in the group chats. To try to paint the twins as naive or weak is to guarantee your own public humiliation. This is not vengeance, this is mirror magic. The twins do not attack, they reflect. And in their gaze, the world sees not their flaws, but the filth of those who sought to soil them. Truth, once released, cannot be caged, and lies told against the twins, they are letters addressed to hell, signed in the liar's own blood. The solar eclipse, September 21st, final act. The sun darkens in Virgo 6th house. This is the day of reset. The universe wipes the slate clean, severing every toxic thread, every parasitic connection. The twins are granted a new beginning, clean, quiet, free from the noise of fools. Those who tried to lure them into shady schemes, who hid behind fake projects and false promises, now find their foundations crumbling. Manipulators who preyed on trust are trapped in their own traps. Toxic colleagues, fake friends, emotional vampires, all are dragged into the light, stripped of influence, abandoned by luck. Deals collapse, clients vanish, money slips through fingers like water. And for the most brazen among them, the fall includes not just loss, but legal reckoning, audits, investigations, the cold hand of justice. The twins, meanwhile, breathe freely. The cycle of defense is over. They no longer need to fight. The system itself now works in their favor, exposing liars without their lifting a finger. It is not about winning, it is about being. And in their stillness, the truth speaks for them. The 5 days of reckoning. Let these dates be etched in memory, for they are not mere markers on a calendar, but judgment days. September 1st, the quiet manipulator. The one who drained energy through guilt, silence, and emotional blackmail, now drowns in their own resentment as the twins walk away, leaving them in a hollow world of their own making. September 4th, the friend competitor, the one who smiled while plotting, who wanted to be better, to take what wasn't hers, now exposed, isolated, her innocence a shattered mask. She is no longer welcome, she is dangerous. September 7th, the hidden player, the one who lied about money, who kept secrets, who acted through omission. Now everything surfaces, debts, thefts, schemes, no explanation will save them, the truth is too loud. September 13th, the gossip, the rumor monger, the truth twister, the one who spoke with honey and stabbed with venom. Now they trip over their own lies, their reputation dissolving like sugar in rain. September 21st, the sly fraud, the mentor, the advisor, the colleague who wore kindness like a disguise. Now unmasked, their contracts void, their resources gone, their word worth less than dust. A final warning. This is not a message for the twins, they already know. They are already beyond. This is for those who stand against them, for those who still believe they can control, deceive, or diminish the children of Mercury. Stop. September 2025 does not forgive, it does not negotiate, it does not offer second chances. The game is over, the dice have been cast. And the universe, in its infinite irony, has chosen this moment to hand the twins not weapons, but witnesses. So step back, Withdraw your hands, silence your tongues, for the air itself now carries the weight of truth, and in that air, every lie you've ever told is echoing back, louder and sharper than before. Do not touch the twins, the cosmos is watching, and karma, dear antagonist, has just begun to smile. Cancer, the serpent bearer's call, a cosmic rebirth in 5 acts. Our Cancer, tender-hearted, deep-feeling, fiercely protective Cancer. You who carry oceans in your chest and build castles out of memory and moonlight. For so long you've lived by the rhythm of others, absorbing their pain, silencing your voice, folding yourself smaller so the people you love could feel safe. But September 2025 is not here to ask you to be gentle, it is here to tell you. You are not just a sanctuary, you are a storm. And the time has come to rise. This is no ordinary month. It is the dawning of a new astrological era, one that even the ancients didn't foresee. The 13th sign, Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, is no longer a myth whispered in the margins of star charts. It has arrived, slipping into the zodiac like a secret key turning in a long-locked door. And this is not some abstract mystical fluff. This is a cosmic trigger. A rare realignment of planetary forces that transforms pain into power, stagnation into sovereignty. And you, dear Cancer, are not just a participant in this shift, you are its chosen vessel. For the first time in history, the Ophiuchus loop, a celestial configuration so potent it rewires fate itself, activates. And it begins with you. Saturn returns to Pisces September 1st, the architect of your inner temple. On the 1st of September, Saturn, the stern sculptor of time and karma, glides back into Pisces, settling into your 9th house like a master builder inspecting the foundation of a soul. This is the first stone laid in the Ophiuchus loop. And what does it mean? That the life you've lived, the beliefs you've carried, the excuses you've repeated, the stories you've told yourself about why you're stuck, is ending. No more "I'm just unlucky." No more "this is just how I am." No more "I have to suffer for love." Saturn doesn't care about your excuses. It demands truth. And it hands you the blueprint to rebuild your inner world, not on sand but on bedrock. Pisces, like you, is a water sign, deep, intuitive, boundless. And so this transformation does not come with violence, it comes with resonance. You begin to feel, deep in your marrow, that the old patterns, the endless complaining, the chronic anxiety, the habit of sacrificing yourself for toxic people are not just outdated, they are repulsive. Like wearing a wet sweater you forgot to take off years ago. Suddenly you find yourself saying no, not with guilt, not with tears, but with quiet, unshakable power. The 9th house, now awakened, demands a new worldview. And so many of you will feel an urgent pull to change paths, career, education, even belief systems. Interest in psychology, esoteric wisdom, or spiritual practice isn't just curiosity now, it's survival, a desperate need to finally understand yourself. And that feeling, that restless ache, that whisper saying, "I need to get out," is not a cry of fear, it is the call of evolution. The Ophiuchus loop is opening, and it whispers, you can live differently, you can be free. Mercury and Virgo square Uranus, September 2nd, 3rd, the mindquake that saves you by the 2nd and 3rd. Mercury, the planet of thought, logic and communication, enters Virgo, your 3rd house of mind, speech and perception. But just as you begin to organize your thoughts into neat little lists and spreadsheets, Uranus, the cosmic lightning bolt, crashes into the scene with a square that feels like your brain just downloaded a new operating system without your permission. Suddenly, your mind is on fire. Ideas spark like fireworks. Old beliefs crumble. You see through the emotional fog you've lived in for years. That thing you thought was love? It was obligation. That job you called stable? It was slow suffocation. That friend who always needed you? They were a parasite. And here's the miracle. This chaos is not your enemy. Within the Ophiuchus loop, this mental earthquake is medicine. It's a reboot, a purge of the mental clutter that kept you small. You begin to think with precision, not just emotion. You start asking, who owes me, who drains me, what is truly holding me back? Write it down, make lists, draw diagrams. Mercury in Virgo doesn't care about poetry, it cares about structure. And this is your superpower now, your ability to dissect the mess and rebuild it with logic, clarity, and ruthless honesty. Uranus, meanwhile, electrifies your 11th house, your dreams, your community, your future, and it shouts, why are you still here? You knew this wasn't yours. You don't have to wait anymore. Change, become. A sudden argument with a friend, an unplanned trip that changes everything, a message from someone from your past that suddenly makes sense of your present. You are forced to act, quickly, decisively, without overthinking. Yes, you may feel panic. Yes, the speed of change may terrify you. But remember, fear is not a warning. It is the birth cry of a new life. Lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 7th. The emotional detox. On the 7th, the moon darkens in Pisces, bringing a total lunar eclipse to your 9th house, the final act of release. This is not drama, this is surgery. The Ophiuchus loop opens the soul's drainage system, and all the pain you've carried, that wasn't even yours, begins to flow out. Years of unspoken grief, disappointments buried under "I'm fine," spiritual dead ends, the weight of false hope, the silent waiting for an apology that will never come. It all surfaces now, not to destroy you, but to liberate you. You may cry, you may rage, you may feel hollow, lost like a shell washed ashore. This is normal. You are shedding a layer of soul that was never meant to be yours, and when the wave passes, you will rise, not broken, but reborn. No more carrying the emotional burdens of others, no more pretending you're okay when you're not. The eclipse doesn't ask for forgiveness, it demands truth. And in that truth you finally see, you are not responsible for fixing everyone. You are responsible for saving yourself. Mars enters Scorpio, September 24th, the day the tide turns. By the 24th, Mars, the planet of will, desire and raw, unfiltered wanting, marches into Scorpio, igniting your 10th house of power, legacy and destiny. This is the turning point. The universe stops whispering and starts commanding. Act now. And Cancer, this is where you surprise everyone, especially yourself. You, who were thought to be too soft, too sensitive, too afraid of conflict, now stand with fire in your eyes and steel in your spine. You are done being overlooked, done being underpaid, done being taken for granted. Money begins to flow, not through luck, but through demand. That idea for a business, the one you dismissed as too small, it's not small, it's yours. Repair work, teaching, handmade crafts, coaching, self-employment, these are not side hustles. They are kingdoms in the making. A client appears. A collaboration offers real money. A person who once betrayed you returns, this time with an offer to make amends, and you don't beg, you don't hesitate, you claim what is yours. And yes, there is anger, but not the kind that destroys, the kind that awakens, the kind that says, I'm done working for pennies, I'm done hoping someone will notice, I will make this happen myself. And Mars gives you the strength to push, to fight, to win. By October, those who said, I begin today, will already be earning, not a miracle, a right. Love the end of suffering, and in love the suffering ends. For those in stale, lifeless relationships, this is your moment to walk away, not with screams, not with drama, but with quiet dignity. Thank you, goodbye, I no longer need this. And if your partner is wise, they will finally hear you, not the pleading, anxious version, but the strong, clear one who demands warmth, intimacy, respect. For the single Cancers, oh, it gets interesting. A sudden meeting, a magnetic pull, a chemistry so intense it feels like lightning in the blood. It may not be forever, but it will remind you, you are alive, you are desired. You're not a backup plan, you are the main event. And even if it doesn't last, it will change you, because you will finally feel wanted. Not out of pity, not out of duty, but because you radiate. The final word, this is not a gift, it is a choice. So here it is, Cancer. September 2025 is not a test, it is not a trial by fire, it is a portal, the Ophiuchus loop opening just for you. No one will break you, no one will force you to transform. This is not punishment, this is invitation. But you must walk through it with a clear mind, with a firm decision, and without dragging the old ghosts behind you. You will become stronger, not by enduring, but by refusing to endure. The universe is not asking you to suffer to earn this. It is asking you to take it, because you are not just ready, you are overdue. Now go, and let the world finally see the storm that's been hiding in your heart. Dear Leo, September 2025 is your cosmic reawakening in 5 acts. Ah, Leo, golden-maned, fire-hearted, drama-prone Leo. You who were born under a spotlight that hadn't yet been invented. You who once ruled the jungle not by stealth but by sheer presence. But lately life has felt less like a coronation and more like a never-ending staff meeting. Endless demands, dwindling joy, and that quiet, creeping suspicion that the universe forgot to send you the memo about your divine right to shine. Perhaps money has been tighter than your favorite pair of jeans after Thanksgiving. Perhaps work feels like a cage built by passive-aggressive colleagues and soul-crushing deadlines. Perhaps at home, silence speaks louder than words, full of unspoken resentments, financial strain, and relationships hanging by a thread so thin even a whisper could snap it. And let's be honest, for some of you, this slump hasn't lasted weeks, it's lasted years, 7 to be exact. But mark this moment, Leo, September 2025 is not just another month on the calendar. It is the roar you've been suppressing finally breaking free. The stars have aligned, not with a polite cough, but with a thunderclap. Mars and Uranus, in a rare celestial handshake unseen for 7 long years, are throwing open the gates of destiny. This is your exit from the shadows. This is your rebirth. This is the moment you stop being the background music and become the main act. So sharpen your claws, fluff your mane, and prepare to pounce, because the jungle remembers its king. The Mars-Jupiter square, September 4th, the spark that ignites the inferno on the 4th, Mars, the planet of action, aggression, and raw, unfiltered wanting, locks horns with Jupiter, the cosmic amplifier of dreams, expansion, and occasional overconfidence. The result? A celestial explosion that ignites something deep within you, the sudden, overwhelming urge to say, "Enough!" This is not a gentle nudge. This is the universe shoving you toward the edge of the cliff and whispering, "Jump, you've got wings." Phones ring with urgent news. Emails arrive like grenades. Demands pile up until the pressure becomes unbearable. And that's exactly when the magic happens. For Sun Leos, this transit hits your 2nd and 11th houses, your money and your network. Suddenly opportunities appear like mirages in a desert, only this time they're real. A job offer that makes your heart race, a business idea that feels like destiny, or perhaps the shocking realization that your so-called friends are actually emotional vampires who've been feeding off your light for years. Spoiler, it's time to evict them, and for Moon Leos, those gloriously dramatic, emotionally volcanic souls, this energy strikes straight in the heart. Conversations erupt, old wounds surface. You finally confront the relative who borrows money but never repays, the partner who saps your joy with endless complaints, the friend who pretends to support you while quietly resenting your sparkle. And in a moment of pure Leo brilliance, you might just declare, "I'm done. Take your negativity and go, preferably with the door slamming so hard the chandelier falls." Yes, this is a square, a tense, conflict-ridden aspect. But remember, Leo was never meant to play small. You were born to lead, to command, to shine so brightly that others have to look away. And when you stand in that power, when you let your pride, your confidence, your innate magnetism take the wheel, Mars and Jupiter don't just create chaos, they create miracles. The employee who's been sidelined for years suddenly gets headhunted by a rival firm on better terms. The entrepreneur ready to quit discovers a major client through an old ally. Even families drowning in debt find a way out, through restructuring, unexpected help, or sheer stubborn refusal to stay buried. This is not luck, this is liberation. A shockwave strong enough to blast you out of the swamp. Painful, maybe, but necessary, because you needed to remember, you are not prey. You are the predator. Uranus goes retrograde September 6th. The door to the past swings open. Just as you catch your breath from Mars' fiery assault, Uranus, the planet of sudden change, rebellion, and oh God, why is he back, slips into retrograde. And Leo, this is where things get interesting. Imagine walking forward, full of momentum, only to trip over a door that wasn't there a second ago. It creaks open, and from it wafts the scent of unfinished business, unsaid words, and people you swore you'd never see again. Yes, they're back. The ex, the abandoned project, the dream you shelved because it wasn't practical. Uranus is dragging it all back into the light. For Sun Leos, this retrograde activates your 5th and 10th houses, your creativity, love life, and career. Old passions reignite. Forgotten ambitions return with a vengeance. That business you closed 3 years ago, your former partner calls with an offer to restart, on better terms, with more vision and far less drama. That person you once loved but never properly said goodbye to, they reappear, not to haunt you, but to heal you. Ascendant Leos feel this in their status, their public image. That boss who once underestimated you now offers you a position with a trial period, as if testing whether you still have the fire. Spoiler, you do, and you'll ace it. And Moon Leos? Oh, you glorious emotional supernovas, this period is intense. Your heart swings from euphoria to despair like a pendulum on espresso. Love returns unexpectedly, dramatically, perfectly. It might be someone from your past who finally grew up, or a longtime admirer who finally gathers the courage to speak. For some, it's the long-awaited "I love you" after years of silence. For others, it's the truth about a past betrayal, not as a wound, but as freedom. The lie that bound you dissolves, leaving space for something real. This is not nostalgia, this is closure, a chance to heal emotional open wounds, clear the heart's clutter and make room for a love that doesn't play games. Because after 7 years of half-truths, Leo, you deserve honesty. And now the universe is delivering it. Mars in Libra, September 13th, from battlefield to boardroom. By the 13th, Mars leaves the war zone and strides into Libra, the sign of balance, diplomacy and negotiation with a killer smile. The battlefield is replaced by the boardroom. The sword is traded for a pen, but don't be fooled. This is not peace. This is strategy. For Sun Leos, this activates your 3rd and 7th houses, communication and partnerships. Now your words carry weight. A single email can change the course of a deal. A well-timed conversation can secure terms you once thought impossible. This is the moment to ask, not beg, not hint, but demand what you're worth. Ascendant Leos become visible, people listen, people want your opinion. Your presence commands rooms. Remember your Leo superpower, you were born to impress. One bold statement, one confident gesture, and the game shifts in your favor. And Moon Leos, you're done tiptoeing around emotional landmines. Couples on the brink of collapse finally sit down and talk, not in tears, not in blame, but in clarity. The kind of conversation that doesn't end with "let's forget it," but with "let's rebuild it on better ground." This is not avoidance, this is maturity, and it feels glorious. Uranus trine Pluto, September 19th. The wall crumbles, wings unfold. By the 19th, the real magic happens. Uranus, the rebel, forms a rare trine with Pluto, the lord of transformation. This is not chaos, this is evolution. A wall you didn't even know was there, built of fear, compromise, and old limitations, collapses. And from the rubble you emerge, new, powerful, free. For men born under Leo, this hits your 4th and 9th houses, home, family roots and horizons. You may finally move out of your parents' house, yes, even if you're 45. Buy property, change careers, travel to that country you've dreamed of. This decision will shape your next 7 years. For Leo women, this is about attention and care. You no longer tolerate indifference. You walk away from relationships, from jobs, from lives that don't honor you. And in their place, romance returns, not with fanfare, but with quiet certainty. You attract not the charming talker, but the knight, strong, reliable, action-oriented, not the guy who lounges on the couch complaining about life. This is liberation. It feels like a concrete slab lifting from your chest. Uranus brings the spark. Pluto brings the depth. Together they give you wings. Mars square. Pluto, September 24th. The lion rises, the weak fall. And finally, on the 24th, Mars clashes with Pluto in a square so intense it could power a small city. Enemies who mistook your patience for weakness, they're about to learn their mistake. This transit hits your 6th and 8th houses, work, health and shared resources. Debts are paid, toxic jobs are quit, manipulative partners are cut loose, and for Leo women, you reclaim what's yours, property, business shares, dignity. For Leo men, you defend what's yours without guilt, without hesitation. This is not revenge, this is justice, not a whimper, a roar. The final word, you are not a participant, you are the king. So here it is, Leo. September 2025 is not a chance, it is a crowning. A 7-year cycle of stagnation ends. A new era of power, wealth and love begins. You are not waiting for permission, you are not begging for recognition, you are not hiding your light. You are the architect, the leader, the lion. And the jungle? It has been waiting for your return. Now go claim it. And don't forget to roar. Virgo, this September 2025 is your cosmic invitation to rise. Sweet, meticulous, endlessly capable Virgo. For so long you've been the quiet architect behind every masterpiece, the editor who polishes brilliance into perfection, the one who fixes what no one else even noticed was broken. But September 2025 is not here to ask you to fix anything. No, darling Earth Angel, this month is here to break you open in the most beautiful, scandalously fortunate way possible. This is not just another turn of the celestial wheel. This is a bifurcation point, a moment so sharp and sudden it could slice your life in two. One side, the old story of quiet sacrifice and near misses. The other, a dazzling new narrative written in gold ink. signed by the universe itself. For those born under the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo, the long-awaited white streak, that elusive era of ease, abundance, and deep personal alignment is no longer a dream. It is knocking, and it brought champagne. The lunar eclipse, September 7th, the soul's spring cleaning. On the 7th of September, the moon darkens in Pisces, casting a silken shadow across the 15th degree, a moment not of endings, but of unmasking. This lunar eclipse is not a tragedy. It is a cosmic intervention disguised as drama. For Virgos, it activates the axis of the 6th to the 12th house, your realm of service, health, routine, and the deep whispering corners of your subconscious. Think of it as the universe hitting refresh on your soul. Old patterns, those stubborn loops of self-doubt, the quiet martyrdom, the habit of folding yourself smaller to fit other people's expectations are being hacked. And the password? Enough. For Sun Virgos, this is the moment you finally see your weaknesses not as life sentences, but as blueprints for reinvention. That tendency to overthink, not a flaw, it's your superpower in disguise. For Ascendant Virgos, the shift is visible. You begin to carry yourself like someone who's just remembered they're in charge. And for Moon Virgos, those brilliant minds wired for analysis and self-control, something extraordinary happens. The weight of old expectations lifts. The need to be perfect, to be useful, to be approved. It begins to dissolve, and in its place, a wild, unexpected urge to let go. Suddenly, conversations you've avoided for years happen. Relationships you've tolerated like background noise are re-evaluated. You might even gasp, quit your job or move cities, not out of panic, but because your intuition, long buried under spreadsheets and to-do lists, finally roars to life. To the untrained eye, this may look like chaos, but for the attentive Virgo, this is where the first seed of growth cracks open. The soil has been tilled. Now, plant something bold. Mars leaves the building. September 13th, the money pivot. Up until the 13th, Mars has been stomping around your first house like a caffeinated bull in a china shop, riling up your usual calm, making you argue with your boss. Yes, you peace-loving Virgo, and launching projects you swore you'd think about later. You've been more energetic, yes, but also more irritable, like a finely tuned engine running on espresso and existential urgency. But on the 13th, Mars exits your sign and glides into Libra, shifting the spotlight to your 2nd and 7th houses, finances, values, and partnerships. This is where the real magic begins. The fire that once fueled personal battles now ignites strategic alliances. This is the time to formalize what was casual, be it a business partnership, a romantic commitment, or a financial plan that finally reflects your worth. And here's where your natural Virgo and diplomacy becomes your secret weapon. While others flail in emotional negotiations, you glide through with precision, grace, and an uncanny ability to find win-win solutions. Especially if Mercury, your celestial ruler, that witty, whip-smart planet of logic and language, is strong in your chart, your intellect becomes your most profitable asset. You don't bluff, you calculate. And in this phase, calculation pays dividends. So yes, negotiate that raise. Sign that contract. Say, I love you, without over-editing the sentence. The universe is not asking you to be reckless, it's asking you to be bold, with a spreadsheet if necessary. Mercury and the Sun. Return home, September 15th, 17th, the Virgo Renaissance. On the 15th, Mercury, your cosmic parent, your mental GPS, the planet that thinks in bullet points and speaks in flawless PowerPoint, returns to its home sign, you. Then, on the 17th, the Sun follows. This is not a minor transit, this is the coronation of your identity. The first house ignites. Your personality undergoes a full system reboot. Melancholy, gone, self-doubt, evicted, you are now operating at peak intellectual capacity, and for the first time in possibly your entire life, you feel not just capable, but unstoppable. Sun Virgos, this is your moment of professional and personal breakthrough. That quiet, cautious version of you, she's taking a nap. In her place stands someone who speaks clearly, demands recognition, and, dare we say it, asks for what they want. No more waiting for permission, no more shrinking. You launch that business. You apply for the leadership role. You tell your partner, this is what I need, and say it like it's a fact, not a request. Ascendant Virgos, the world now sees you as a leader, an expert, a force. And for once, you feel it too, not as an imposter, but as someone who has earned every inch of this ground. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a status upgrade, one that radiates from your aura like a quiet glow. And Moon Virgos, you finally find peace in your own mind. The endless analysis that once exhausted you now empowers you. Decisions come easier. New interests awaken. You start conversations, you try things. And for the first time, your perfectionism doesn't paralyze you. It propels you. The message is clear. Do not be humble. Do not hesitate. Do not apologize for taking up space. The cosmos is not just on your side. It's cheering for you. The solar eclipse, September 21st, the final act of letting go at 29 degrees of Virgo. The sun darkens in a partial solar eclipse, the closing note of a zodiacal cycle, the last page of an old book. This is not just an ending, it is a ceremony of release. For Virgos, this eclipse marks the official retirement of outdated roles, habits, and even careers that no longer serve your soul. For Sun Virgos, love undergoes a revolution. Women may find themselves swept into a new romance, perhaps with someone nothing like their usual type, someone who makes them feel not just safe, but alive. Men may find forgiveness offered where they least expected it, old wounds healing, second chances arriving not with drama but with quiet grace. Even the skeptics will whisper, something has changed. Ascendant Virgos, this is your moment of rebranding, a new haircut, a wardrobe overhaul, a different way of speaking. These aren't superficial changes, they're external signals of an internal rebirth. Your self-image shifts, and with it, your energy, your confidence, your magnetic pull. The world begins to see you differently because you finally do. And Moon Virgos, emotional detox is in full swing. Old grudges, those you've carried like heirlooms of pain, are finally set down. You stop punishing yourself for mistakes. You stop replaying others' cruel words. You realize you don't have to earn peace, you can just have it. This eclipse teaches you to act on intuition, not just logic, to say yes to the unexpected, to trust that the universe rewards courage, not just caution. The background: trio, Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu, the hidden architects of your rise. While the eclipses and planetary returns steal the spotlight, the real magic is being woven in the background by a celestial trio: Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu. Jupiter in the 10th house. The planet of expansion is seated firmly in your house of career and public standing. This means every effort you make is rewarded. Promotions, new clients, unexpected recognition. Even a risky career shift will be met not with disaster but with surprising support. The universe is not just opening doors, it's handing you the keys. Saturn in the 7th house? Yes, the stern taskmaster is here, but not to punish, to structure. Superficial relationships crumble. Only the real ones survive. This is the month of serious commitments, marriages, legal partnerships, business contracts signed in ink, not just good intentions. Saturn demands maturity, but in return it grants long-term harmony. So formalize that agreement, get it notarized, say forever with both feet on the ground. Rahu in the 6th house, the North Node, the agent of destiny, electrifies your domain of daily routines, health and service. Suddenly the mundane becomes magical. Automating your workflow, using apps, outsourcing tasks. These aren't luxuries, they're power moves. Virgos, who once saw themselves as just assistants, analysts, or quiet workers, will shock themselves by how much they can achieve when they stop doing everything alone. Success comes not from burnout, but from smart systems. But beware, do not fall into the trap of micromanaging. Delegate, trust your team, or you will burn out. This is not the time to suffer in silence. This is the time to scale. The final word: you are no longer a supporting character. So here it is, Virgo. September 2025 is not a promise, it is a delivery. The white streak is not coming, it is here. It arrives through eclipses, planetary returns, and the quiet courage of someone who has finally stopped apologizing for being brilliant. You are not just a participant in this story, you are the author, the architect, the CEO of your own renaissance. So hold on to this moment, do not let go. Say yes to the unexpected, say no to what drains you. Sign the contract, change your look, start the business, fall in love, trust your gut. The universe has not just smiled upon you, it has handed you the microphone and said, now speak, the world is finally ready to listen. And to everyone else, move aside. Virgo is having her moment and she's not sharing. Oh, Libra, child of balance and grace, the heavens have paused to listen to your quiet strength. The cosmos leans in, not with thunder but with a soft celestial breath, for the tides of fate are shifting, and you, dear Scales, are no longer merely enduring the storm, you are becoming the calm after it. From autumn 2025, a quiet revolution begins within your soul, one not born of chaos, but of karmic alignment. This is no fleeting wind of fortune, no passing gust of luck. This is the deep, resonant turning of destiny's wheel, the kind that echoes through 5 golden years. Venus and Mercury, your celestial godparents, weave a luminous chain of grace, a karmic thread spun from stardust and second chances. From this moment until February 23, 2030, when Venus glides into the sacred realm of Uttara Ashada, you are no longer on probation. The universe lifts its hand from your shoulder. No more cruel tests, no more soul-crushing lessons that left you gasping in the dark. The exam is over. You passed. And now, Blessed One, you are invited to live. For nearly 5 years, the sky promises a reprieve, a sanctuary of ease, of clarity, of doors swinging open before you even knock. This is your time to prove that strength is not only in survival, but in thriving, that dignity is not just in standing tall, but in walking forward with joy. The universe is no longer grading you, it is cheering for you. And you at last may write your own story, not in the ink of struggle, but in the gold leaf of triumph. On September 13th, Mercury slips into Uttara Falguni, and with it a spark ignites in your mind like a match struck in the dark. This is the first tremor of transformation, the moment the scales tip not by chance, but by design. For years you watched from the sidelines as luck danced with others, as fortune smiled on strangers. Now the current shifts. The wave that once passed you by now lifts you high upon its crest. Suddenly, decisions come with ease. Clarity floods your thoughts like morning light through stained glass. What once seemed risky now feels inevitable. What once felt impossible now hums with potential. Commerce, creativity, cash flow, all awaken as if someone has unplugged a dam within you, releasing a river of opportunity. New income streams appear like hidden paths revealed in moonlight. Ventures, once dismissed as hobbies, now bloom into full-fledged enterprises. This is not luck, it is karma rewarding patience. The houses of wealth and status ignite. You speak and people listen, even those who once smirked behind their hands. You are no longer background noise, you are the main theme. But beware, noble Libra, confidence is your crown, arrogance your downfall. To the man over 50, yes, you heed this. Do not squander this golden energy on fleeting pleasures or young admirers who admire your wallet, not your wisdom. Your power now is not for spending, but for anchoring. Build, secure. Let success settle into your bones, not slip through your fingers. Then on September 14th, Venus enters Makkah, and the heavens perform a sacred ritual, the burning of your past. Not metaphorically, literally. Old debts, karmic stains, silent betrayals, the weight of broken trust, all are incinerated by celestial fire. It's as if fate itself walks into your life, picks up the worn pages of your suffering and tosses them into a pyre. The smoke rises, the burden lifts. This is purification, this is grace. Venus touches your relationships, your love, your marriage, and demands truth. Toxic ties unravel, masks fall. Those who lied to your face, who betrayed you with a smile, now stand exposed. And you see them. Not through anger, but through clarity. You do not scream, you do not beg, you simply turn away. You spit on the shadow of betrayal and grind it into dust. That is the power of Makkah. That is the strength of a Libra who finally refuses to suffer in silence. And in their place, light, air, space, the atmosphere around you becomes transparent as if a fog has lifted. Your soul, long cramped, now spreads its wings. You breathe deeply for the first time in years. And if you choose to release the past, the universe promises, in 5 years you will know love not as drama but as harmony, not as fire but as hearth. This is not a fling, this is fate. By September 20th, Mercury arrives in Hasta, the hand that shapes destiny. And oh, Libra, you are handed the tools of creation. Reality itself becomes malleable. What once required struggle now unfolds with effortless grace. Your mind sharpens like a blade, your words strike with precision. You catch nuances others miss. Even in sleep, your subconscious whispers warnings and solutions. Dreams become oracles, free of charge. And the greatest gift, people. The universe begins to deliver them. Allies, mentors, kindred spirits. As if fate has hired a personal concierge for your soul. Especially for women, new friendships bloom like spring flowers, while old jealousies wither and vanish. These are not gossipy companions, but sister warriors. Women who uplift, who stand beside you, who bring joy, not drama. For 5 years, you will walk with a sisterhood of strength. At work, you become the calm in the storm. Where once you navigated office politics with gritted teeth, now you dissolve conflict with a word, a glance, a quiet authority. Balance is no longer something you maintain, it is something you radiate. Respect follows you, promotions appear, responsibilities expand, and with them the foundation of a legacy. On October 6th, Venus glides into Uttara Falguni and the world softens. The long trials are over, the weight lifts, the chronic pain, the stress-induced fatigue, the endless anxiety, all begin to dissolve. Health returns, equilibrium returns. You wake up and realize, I am not fighting today. You are no longer surviving. You are living. Old habits, the ones that drained you, the late nights, the self-sabotage, fall away like dead leaves. A new rhythm emerges, body and soul in harmony, like two dancers who finally remember the steps. This is not a vacation. This is a rebirth. For 5 years, mornings will greet you not with dread, but with peace. This is the life you earned. Then, on October 7th, Mercury enters Swati, the wind that clears the path. You feel it in your bones, liberation, the compromises, the people-pleasing, the fear of losing approval, all of it shatters. Career doors burst open, raises, promotions, new roles, and for some, a call to move to a city, a region, a place where your skills are not just accepted, but cherished. Listen, ask, verify, but go. Freedom, long a luxury, becomes your natural state, and on October 17th, Venus returns to Hasta, the final chord of this celestial symphony. Family tensions, especially those woven by in-laws and meddlers, dissolve. 5 years of quiet, of peace, of being left alone to live your life, and then love, not the frantic kind, not the exhausting kind, but deep, true, grounding love. For men, a woman who sees your soul, not your status. For women, a man who stands beside you, not above you. This is not a fling, this is the beginning of a life. Libra, the scales have balanced, the universe has spoken. From autumn 2025, you enter a 5-year era of being favored. Not because you begged, but because you endured, because you learned, because you grew. This is not a dream, this is karma. And karma, dear one, does not reward the weak. It rewards those who passed the test. And you passed with style, so step forward, not with hesitation, but with grace. Do not squander this gift on small things. Do not return to old patterns. Do not waste your energy on those who do not deserve it. The world is yours, the stars are aligned, and for once, Libra, the universe is on your side. Dear Scorpio, September 2025 is your cosmic reckoning in 5 acts. Oh, Scorpio, you whose silence speaks louder than thunder, you whose gaze could ignite a forest or freeze a river, you who have walked through fire so many times you've forgotten what it feels like to be warm. If you've been feeling drained, if the weight of betrayal, poverty, and endless trials has made you question whether you're still the predator or have become the prey, stop, breathe, listen. Because the universe, in its infinite, darkly poetic wisdom, is about to hand you a weapon forged in starlight. From September to November 29th, 2025, before the 13th sign, Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer, enters the zodiac like a secret code unlocking destiny. You are granted a rare window of power, not a gentle opportunity, not a maybe someday promise. This is a cosmic coup, a chance to rewrite your fate so completely that the next 7 years will be defined not by survival but by dominance. And this moment, it may never come again. The lunar eclipse. September 7th, the death of the old self. On the 7th of September, the moon darkens in Pisces, triggering a total lunar eclipse in your 5th house, the realm of love, creativity, pleasure, and inner freedom. This is not just a day, this is a karmic guillotine slicing through every dead weight you've been dragging like a corpse in your shadow. Suddenly you see, that relationship you clung to out of loyalty, it was a parasite. That partner who claimed to love you while draining your light, clipping your wings, manipulating your deepest emotions, they were never yours. And for those of you who've ignored infidelity, lies, or emotional coldness for years, this is the reckoning. The universe doesn't whisper, it screams. For Scorpio women, this day marks the end of the martyr, the woman who tolerated, sacrificed, and rescued those who never asked for help. She is gone. If you don't release this habit of being convenient, it will destroy you. There is no middle ground. For Scorpio men, the blow is emotional and deep. Betrayal surfaces, hidden resentment, the jealousy of a partner or ex. Some of you will wake up gasping, I wasted years, decades, my whole life, and for what? Nothing to remember. But this is not tragedy, this is liberation. You are not breaking up with a person, you are breaking up with a mindset, one that kept you buried, afraid, small. Only those brave enough to cut away the rot will begin the real transformation. This is the moment your true self is reborn. The Scorpio with a spine of steel, a will of fire, a sexuality that commands, and a talent for victory that terrifies your enemies. While others tremble at loss, you gain freedom, but only if you wield the knife yourself. From this day forward, the black stripe ends. No more just a little longer. No more I can endure. That lie, it dies now or it kills you. Solar eclipse in Virgo. September 21st, the return of the tribe by the 21st. A partial solar eclipse in Virgo ignites your 11th house, the domain of community, alliances, reputation, and trust. You, who have walked alone for so long, not by choice, but because life weeded out everyone who couldn't handle your depth, are about to re-enter the circle. You watched others with their networks, their influential friends, their easy access to power while you stood in silence, surrounded by walls and echoes. But now the game changes. People begin to gather around you, not for petty gain, not for shallow connections, but because they see your power. Even if you've forgotten it, someone will suggest how to monetize that skill you used to give away for free. Another will recommend you without warning, and suddenly you're in the right place at the right time. The once invisible Scorpio becomes a figure, someone to be reckoned with, and for the first time in years you feel it. You are not alone, not in a crowd, not for likes, not for show, but surrounded by those who speak your language, breathe your air, match your intensity. This is not luck, this is karmic restoration. You were too long in the shadows. Now you step into a world of meaning, mutual benefit, and real opportunity. But there's a rule: you cannot play small again. You cannot be humble. That is not virtue, it is weakness. If you want your rightful place under the sun, stand up and take it. Neptune turns retrograde, October 22nd, the soul's reckoning. On the 22nd of October, Neptune, the planet of illusion, dreams, and identity, begins its retrograde journey in Pisces, striking your 5th house once more. And for those Scorpios who have lost themselves, who no longer believe they are Scorpios at all, this is the wake-up call. You were once sharp, magnetic, uncomfortable for the weak. Now you survive in silence, swallowing your truth, forgetting the last time you chose yourself. Neptune's retrograde rips the veil. You will see without mercy the illusions you've built around love, identity, and future. Who did you become to feel safe? Where did you surrender? Where did you betray yourself for comfort? For Ascendant Scorpios, this is a psychological earthquake. The fantasy collapses. For Moon Scorpios, emotional chaos erupts. Family wars, deep wounds, old betrayals burning to ash, but from the ashes, balance. Not through meditation, not through escape, but through the raw, unshakable declaration, I am a Scorpio. I will not live in shame. Family ties either heal or shatter permanently. Everything built on fear, guilt, or dependency crumbles. Ghosts of past lovers fade, not because someone new arrives, but because you finally admit you clung to them out of fear of being alone. And for Scorpio men, fate will test you. Will you accept the children of a woman from another marriage, or walk away with your head high? There is no middle path. Either you are a man or you are a coward. For Scorpio women, you do not cry, you expel, you evict the cheater permanently, and if you can't stay in your own home, you leave, but you do not suffer in silence. You punish morally, karmically, existentially. The old terrifying power returns, the one that makes walls tremble, but now it doesn't destroy, it cleanses. Love after this, not a game, not a fling, a partnership of equals, but to reach it, you must pass through a personal tribunal without mercy. The Scorpio who emerges will never be played again. Uranus retrograde, November 7th, the ultimate breakthrough. On the 7th of November, Uranus, the planet of sudden revolution, turns retrograde, striking your 7th house of partnerships and key alliances. And if you've been waiting for a sign, here it is. People you thought were inseparable, they vanish. Strangers become anchors. The world seems insane. But no, this is Uranus. This is fate reshuffling your deck. Everything you avoided changing in your relationships, it changes for you. If you try to hold on to the old, you lose far more. But if you're not a fool, you'll realize this is the beginning of your new reality. You may land a high-paying role through a powerful new partnership, not with a faceless corporation, but with a real, influential person who sees you as a resource. Not because you're sweet, because you're whole, useful, promising. You'll gain access to projects, businesses, teams, opportunities that could become your launchpad. But the terms are brutal. Either you give your absolute maximum or you're gone. And for Scorpio, 4 rapid ascents are possible. A joint venture with someone above your status, offering unexpected trust. A leap from employee to self-employed, freelancing with income higher than you made in 10 years. A career breakthrough through a chance meeting because you're not seeking, you're being found. The return of an old offer rejected in fear, now revived on far better terms. You will earn differently, not through grueling labor for someone else, but through systems where you decide the value of your energy. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and Scorpio, November 9th, 29th. The financial reboot from the 9th to the 29th. Mercury retrogrades through Sagittarius and Scorpio, activating your 2nd and 8th houses. Money, resources, control, and inner power. And this is where the final truth surfaces. You thought money wasn't for you? You were wrong. Mercury drags your financial reality into the light. You'll see where you've been stealing from yourself, through undervaluing your work, through endless "I'll do it later," through fear of asking for fair pay. Now it changes. Sudden money arrives, returns, bonuses, compensation, help from people you never expected. Salary increases, but only if you demand them. Silence is a crime against yourself. Hobbies become stable income, especially for Scorpio women who've undervalued themselves for too long. Old financial patterns die. No more never enough. No more credit addiction. No more emotional shopping to fill the void. The cycle of toxic habits, financial, emotional, energetic, ends here. Ophiuchus meets Jupiter, November 29th, the final seal. On the 29th, as Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, enters the zodiac and aligns with Jupiter, the cosmic sluice gate closes. This is not myth, this is not poetry, this is finality. If you've taken the leap, if you've transformed, if you've dared to change your life, you are sealed. Your new reality is fixed. And until 2032, you will carry a solid financial foundation, stability in relationships, unshakable inner strength, a deep personal reservoir of power. You will move forward even as others drown in storms. So to all Scorpios who've suffered long enough, the time of waiting is over. The time of rising has begun. You are not just reborn, you are rearmed. Now go and let the world remember why they once feared your name. Sagittarius, the great unfolding, a cosmic invitation to leap. Oh Sagittarius, wild-hearted, truth-hungry, horizon-chasing fire sign. You, who were born with a compass in your soul and a restlessness in your bones. You, who've spent years dreaming of distant peaks while life kept handing you flatlands and detours. Well, listen closely, Archer, because September 2025 is not just another month on the calendar, it is the snap of the bowstring, the moment your arrow finally leaves the bow. This is not a gentle shift, not a maybe next year kind of energy. This is a direct corridor to success, opened by Mars and Uranus for the first time in 7 years. No detours, no waiting, no more, "I'll do it when the time is right." The time is right, and if you don't act now, you'll spend the next decade watching others claim the life you were meant to live. Mars and Jupiter collide, September 3rd, the first spark. On the 3rd of September, you'll feel it in your skin. A sudden surge, a restless hum beneath your ribs. This isn't just a good mood, this is the approach of Mars, charging toward a dramatic square with Jupiter, your ruling planet, your cosmic patron, the celestial embodiment of expansion, luck, and audacity. Astronomically, this clash ignites your 11th house, the realm of allies, teams, and collective power, and your 8th house, shared resources, investments, and deep financial partnerships. In plain terms, your future is no longer yours alone. It now depends on the people you're connected to and your ability to leverage both your own genius and their resources. For Sagittarius men, this is the moment to bet big. On a new project, a bold risk, a venture that could multiply your income overnight. But it means stepping out of your usual circle into a world where the rules are sharper and the stakes higher. The people there more serious, the conversations more demanding, but the rewards life-changing. For Sagittarius women, an offer arrives, sleek, golden, almost too good to be true. Access to influential networks, a doorway to a new market, a chance to finally fix your finances. But beware, this is not about charm, flirtation, or romantic entanglements. This is about cold calculation and business courage. Any hint of personal games, let alone intimacy, could ruin everything. This is a chess match, not a date. And your greatest weapon, your foresight. While others see only risk, you see the long game. That move that looks reckless today, in 6 months it places you in a winning position. Like a chess master, you're not playing for the next turn, you're playing for the end game, and yes, this is already happening. A friend calls with an investment opportunity, a partner offers you equity in a thriving business if you bring your energy and connections, or perhaps it's a tense conversation about money with a spouse, a co-founder, where you finally decide, no more waiting, no more playing small, I want my share. September 3rd is not just a date, it's a push. Either you run with it or you stay frozen while everyone else sprints ahead. Uranus retrograde, September 6th. The hidden audit. On the 6th, Uranus, the planet of sudden change and rebellion, slips into retrograde, activating your 6th and 12th houses, your daily grind, health, and the hidden corners of your psyche. This is not a quiet transit. This is the universe sending you a memo. Stop ignoring what's dragging you down. For Sagittarius men, upheaval at work may feel disruptive at first. Someone leaves, someone new arrives, responsibilities shift. You might grumble, but soon you'll realize these changes opened space for you. More freedom, more influence, more room to move. And yes, there's a temptation to resist. But remember your superpower, flexibility. You're not meant to dig in, you're meant to adapt. And when you do, what seemed like a problem becomes a launch pad. For Sagittarius women, this is the moment to clean house, not just your apartment, but your life. Toxic people, endless tasks, old habits that drain you. Uranus retrograde shines a spotlight on exactly what's blocking your progress. And the 12th house adds a twist. You might suddenly realize who's been holding you back, including yourself. Oh, and that rumor about your man and another woman, it's a lie, a distraction, a test. Trust your gut and trust your second greatest strength, brutal honesty with yourself. This energy also resurrects old plans, those brilliant ideas you abandoned years ago. For entrepreneurs, this is the chance to revive them, refine them, and launch them at a whole new level. Because you are not the same person, you're stronger, wiser, and the world is finally ready. A Sagittarius man gets a call from a former partner. Let's restart that project, we have the resources now. A Sagittarius woman restructures her schedule, cuts the noise, and suddenly finds time and money for what truly lights her up. The retrograde doesn't destroy. It audits. It removes the clutter. And if you cooperate, you'll feel lighter, faster, freer, like the path ahead is finally clearing. Mars enters your 11th house, September 13th, the time to lead. By the 13th, Mars strides into your 11th house, your zone of allies, teams, and collective power. And suddenly your speed returns. That slow, stuck feeling, gone. Now every connection, every collaboration starts working for you, not against you. But here's the catch. You can't wait to be invited. You must enter the room first. Propose, organize, lead. For Sagittarius men, this is your moment to take initiative. You are the engine, the rhythm, the one who decides where the team goes. This is not the time for politeness or hesitation. If someone tries to hijack your vision or impose their rules, show your teeth. Remind them your ideas change things. Your energy moves mountains. For Sagittarius women, this is the era of strategic alliances. Your charm, your ability to connect, your talent for making rivals feel like friends, these are now your weapons. A little flirtation, a well-placed compliment, a moment of relaxed confidence that disarms the competition. But it's not for fun, it's for gain. And if you're an ascendant Sagittarius, your gift is inspiration. Use it. Gather people around your vision. Infect them with your fire. Set goals so exciting they want to follow you. This is not the time for endless planning, it's time for action. The more you move now, the more you'll find yourself at the center of things, not on the sidelines. Uranus trine near Pluto, September 19th. The great realization. On the 19th, Uranus forms a rare, powerful trine with Pluto, triggering a sudden seismic shift in your 6th and 2nd houses. Your daily work, skills, and personal finances. And in that moment, you look back and whisper, how did I ever live like that? Old habits, outdated methods, broken money patterns, they were wrong. And now, the truth is undeniable. For Sagittarius men, this could mean a complete overhaul of your income. New models, new streams, new ways to earn that align with who you've become. But be careful. Not every fast money scheme is real. You do have a weakness for shiny opportunities, separate vision from vanity. For ascendant Sagittarians, this aspect fuels growth through new skills, especially tech, innovation, or anything that demands learning from scratch. And here's the beautiful truth. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 60 and picking up a new trade, even better. The universe rewards courage, not youth, and your greatest strength? The ability to adapt on the fly. You don't need years of training, you learn as you go, and it works. For Moon Sagittarians, those whose emotions fuel their fire, this is pure liberation. You're ready for change, you crave it, and when you finally shift your approach, launch that side hustle, switch industries, restructure your work, you don't just earn more, you feel more, like life is finally in your hands. Mars square. Pluto, September 24th, the final breakthrough. On the 24th, Mars clashes with Pluto in a square so intense it feels like a cosmic ultimatum. Act or stay buried. Your 11th and 2nd houses are on the line. Your network, your money, your position among those you work with. This is not the time for half measures. For Sagittarius men, power struggles flare. Someone tries to impose their will, to set the rules. Don't let them. Either you shape the game or it will be shaped without you. And remember, your gift is vision. See beyond the conflict. Keep the alliances that serve you. Cut the ones that don't immediately. For Sagittarius women, this is the moment to defend your boundaries, financial, emotional, romantic. If someone tries to take what's yours, profit, recognition, even a worthy partner, act without hesitation. This is not the time to fear rivals. Mars gives you the strength to fight on your terms, and yes, this is already happening. A Sagittarius man drops a lowball client and days later lands a high-budget offer. A Sagittarius woman ends a draining conflict, freeing her energy for a new profitable venture. Another cuts a failing project to focus on what actually works. You don't waste weeks overthinking. You attack, you move, you win. The final word. This is your cycle. Claim it. So here it is. Sagittarius, September 2025 is not a forecast. It is a blueprint, a 7-year cycle of growth, wealth, and influence if you act with courage and clarity. This is not a time to watch. This is a time to lead, to deal, to speak, to learn, to launch. The planetary alignment is this rare. The opportunity is this real. And if you hesitate, you'll spend the next decade watching others walk into the future you were meant to claim. So no more waiting, no more maybe. Draw your bow, aim true, and fire. The world is waiting for the arrow. And you are the archer. Dear Capricorn, this September 2025 is your cosmic coronation in 5 acts. O steadfast Capricorn, you, the mountain goat who climbs not for applause, but because the summit is written in your bones. For years, nay decades, you've shouldered the weight of the world with silent dignity. Your ambition cloaked in practicality, your dreams tucked beneath spreadsheets and sensible shoes. But September 2025 is not here to ask you to climb higher. It is here to hand you the keys to the kingdom and say, you've earned this. Now wear the crown with a smirk. The trials, the long winters of the soul, the betrayals disguised as loyalty, the promotions that slipped through your fingers like sand, those chapters are closing. The universe, in its infinite irony, has decided that your patience was not a virtue to be tested, but a power to be rewarded. And so, the karmic gates swing open, the stars align, and fate, that stern but fair accountant, finally settles your long-overdue invoice with interest. This is not just a lucky break. This is a 5-year renaissance, a golden arc stretching from September 2025 to March 2030, during which you are no longer merely enduring life. You are orchestrating it. You are quite officially the universe's favorite child, a title earned not by chance but by every silent sacrifice, every midnight worked, every dream deferred but never abandoned. The Mercury threshold, September 6th, the door to destiny. On the 6th of September, Mercury, the planet of mind, message and momentum, enters the nakshatra of Purva Falguni, a celestial spark that ignites the very blueprint of your new reality. This is not an ordinary transit. This is the starting gun of a 5-year cycle so potent it hums with destiny. From this moment forward, everything that happens is not random. It is purposeful. For Capricorn, sun, moon, or ascendant, this is the moment the universe whispers. Step forward, the stage is yours. Ideas that once flickered in the back of your mind now blaze with possibility. Sudden business opportunities, unexpected income streams, offers from people you've never met, proposing partnerships you never imagined. The money you've worked so hard for, it begins to multiply. Not through sweat, but through status. But beware, the path to abundance is guarded by temptation. Around you, figures will appear, smiling, persuasive, offering fast money, quick wins, shortcuts that feel too good to be true. Spoiler, they are. Capricorn, you were born to build empires, not burn them down for a quick payoff. This wealth must be earned, not stolen, because if you betray your integrity, the karmic door slams shut, possibly with a courtroom and a judge involved. Let's avoid that drama, shall we? Yes, you are cautious by nature. You plan for 10 lifetimes. But now life demands you risk, just a little. Invest in that idea. Say yes to that venture. Trust your gut, even if it's dressed in a three-piece suit and speaks in bullet points. The doors of the 10th house, your domain of career, authority, and legacy, are swinging wide. Walk through them and don't look back. Venus in Maga, September 14th. The right to be loved, yes, you. 4 days after Mercury's grand entrance, Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and value, glides into Maga, the royal nakshatra of lineage and legacy. And for you, Capricorn, this is not just about romance, this is about recognition. This is the moment the cosmos stops testing you and starts rewarding you. You've always been the one who works while others rest, who endures when others break. You've worn your strength like armor, convincing the world and yourself that you don't need praise, affection, or softness. But Maga sees through the act. It reaches into your chest and pulls out the quiet truth. You want to be admired, you want to be chosen, you want to be loved, not despite your strength, but because of it. And so the universe delivers. New connections bloom, some romantic, some professional, all meaningful. The people who once ignored you now seek your counsel. Your word carries weight, your presence commands respect. Where you were once overlooked, you're now invited. Not as a last resort, but as the first choice. And Capricorn, here's the real shock. You are allowed to smile, to flirt, to wear something that isn't charcoal grey, to say, I'd like that, without analysing it for 3 days. The archetype of the stoic mountain goat is evolving into the king of the peak, and kings are allowed to enjoy the view. You begin to feel attractive, not because you've changed your hair, but because you've stopped hiding your light, and the world responds in kind. Mercury in Hasta, September 20th, the master's hand. By the 20th, Mercury enters Hasta, the nakshatra of the skilled artisan, the surgeon, the architect, and Capricorn. This is where your true power ignites. No longer are you merely surviving the chaos, you are now conducting it. Hasta is precision. It is mastery. It is the moment when your legendary discipline, your spreadsheets, your systems, your relentless order finally aligns with the rhythm of the universe. What once stalled now flows. What was delayed now arrives, often in multiples. Projects that were stuck for years suddenly move. Offers come in. Promotions are offered, not begged for. And for the younger Capricorns, this is your launch pad. The world finally sees what you've always known, that your quiet competence is not boring. It is brilliant. You are no longer the assistant in the background. You are the one who runs the show. This is also when the internal transformation begins. Without fanfare, you find yourself at the gym. The cigarette you've been meaning to quit, your hand stops reaching for it. You clean your apartment, sell the junk, pay off old debts, not because you have to, but because you can. And in that order, peace blooms. In relationships, the noise fades. No more passive aggression. No more let's talk about it that never happens. People either step up or step out, quietly, cleanly. And those who remain, they are your equals, your partners. Not saviors, not martyrs, just people who match your energy. Venus in Uttara Phalguni, October 6th. The quiet revolution of wealth. On the 6th of October, Venus enters Uttara Phalguni, where nobility becomes currency. This is not flashy wealth. This is dignified abundance, the kind that arrives not with a bang, but with a nod. Money comes, not coin by coin, but in waves. A debt is forgiven, a bonus appears like a gift from the gods, a friend offers you a stake in a venture that just makes sense. The universe isn't just giving you money, it's giving you leverage. And the healing begins. Chronic tension in your body. It melts away as anxiety loses its grip. Relationships with children, parents, ex-partners, long strained, begin to mend. There are no grand reconciliations, just quiet understanding. And for many, a long-lost love returns, not out of nostalgia, but because the timing is finally right. For those still single, yes, the odds of meeting someone real skyrocket. Not a drama queen, not a player, but someone who likes your silence, who isn't intimidated by your drive, who sees your discipline not as coldness, but as commitment. This is not romance, this is partnership, and it feels like coming home. Mercury in Vishaka, October 16th, the final checkmate. On the 16th, Mercury enters Vishaka, the nakshatra of purpose and victory. This is the final move on the chessboard, a checkmate delivered not with fury, but with calm precision. You now possess total clarity, not the kind that comes from overthinking, but from knowing. You don't wonder if something will work, you know it will, because you've earned that certainty. New positions, new businesses, contracts signed after years of stalemate. People who once dismissed you now seek you out. Why? Because you waited, because you stayed, because you understood the long game. And from October 2025 to March 2030, everything you do will align in your favor. Not by magic, by merit. You are no longer a participant in your life, you are the architect, and the universe, it's your most loyal contractor. Venus in Hasta, October 17th, the new normal. Finally, on the 17th, Venus enters Hasta, sealing the transformation. This is not a climax, it is consolidation. What once felt like luck now becomes routine. Respect, wealth, love, stability. These are no longer miracles, they are yours. You buy that small house, you move to that country. You work half as much for the same pay on your terms. No more compromises that leave you hollow. No more relationships that drain you. No more proving your worth. This is not fate smiling upon you. This is fate bowing to you because you didn't just survive the storm, you became the mountain that weathered it. So, Capricorn, no more waiting, no more enduring. Live as you've always known you should, with power, with peace, with a quiet, unshakable smile. The golden age has begun, and you, my disciplined, glorious goat, are finally at the top. Not because you climbed, but because you belong there. Dear Aquarius, O children of the water-bearer, brace yourselves, not because danger looms, but because fortune is about to knock so loudly on your door that even your ancestors will hear it from the stars. September and October of 2025 are not mere calendar pages turning, they are celestial coronations in motion. For Aquarius, this is not a season of hope, it is the fulfillment of every silent prayer whispered into the void. Every dream tucked beneath the pillow like a secret love letter to the universe. Never before has such a rare and radiant alignment of karmic grace gathered upon Venus and Mercury, those twin architects of beauty and intellect, like a symphony tuning itself before the grand performance. The cosmos, it seems, has finally decided. Enough suffering, enough waiting, it's your turn. And so the locks are broken. The trials that once weighed upon your shoulders like leaden cloaks are cast into the abyss. Betrayals, gossip, dead-end paths and old resentments, those ghosts that clung to your aura like damp shadows, now dissolve in the sunlight of divine timing. The dark stripe officially over. What remains is not just light, but luminosity, the kind that doesn't just illuminate your path, but becomes it. The Mercury Renaissance, September 6th. On the 6th of September, Mercury, the messenger, the trickster, the patron saint of clever comebacks and last-minute miracles, enters Purva Falguni, a nakshatra so rich in charm and creative spark that it might as well come with a spotlight and a velvet rope. This is no ordinary transit. This is Mercury shedding its bureaucratic disguise and stepping onto the stage in a sequined suit, mic in hand, ready to host the comeback of the century. For Aquarians, this is the cosmic green light. Step out of the shadows. If you've been hiding your ideas, your art, your voice, your business, your magic, now is the time to bring it to market. Not with hesitation, not with apologies, with flair. This is not just a window of opportunity. It is the ignition of a supernova, a sudden dazzling burst of financial, communicative, and commercial energy that tightens the strings of fate like a master violinist. Freelance offers will land in your inbox like love letters from the universe. Deals that collapsed 3 times before, suddenly resurrected, now with better terms. Money will appear where you least expected it, like rain in a desert or a surprise royalty check from a song you wrote in college. And if you have the gift of words, if you can sell a dream with a smile or command attention with a glance, prepare to be paid for your presence. But here's the twist. Purva Falguni doesn't just bring wealth, it brings awakening. Some of you will suddenly see with crystal clarity who is truly with me, who is feeding off my light. The realization will be swift and surgical, like waking from a long dream to find your pockets picked. Friends who laughed behind your back, colleagues whose smiles never reached their eyes, loved ones who quietly resented your glow. These relationships will begin to crack. And the universe will not ask you to fix them. It will whisper, walk away. Do not hide from these signs. Let go of those who diminish you. This is not abandonment, it is liberation. And yes, relationships may shift, especially for the single-hearted, but do not mistake fleeting chemistry for destiny. This is not the season for deep contracts, it is the season of reset. Your true currency now, commerce, creativity, inspiration, and above all, investment in yourself. If it brings joy and can be monetized, it is sacred. If it drains you and pays nothing, it is expired. Venus in Maga, the throne room opens September 14th, 14 days later. Venus, goddess of love, luxury and legacy, enters Maga, the royal nakshatra, where crowns are not given but earned. This is where illusions burn away like morning fog under a desert sun. Maga does not care for pretty lies. It demands truth. It demands lineage. It demands that you own your worth. If something has been cracking in your relationship for months, if you've been pretending everything is fine while your soul quietly screams, now is the moment of reckoning. Either the bond will collapse under its own weight, or it will be reborn, stronger, deeper, real. Some of you will discover your partner has been playing both sides of the fence. Others will realize they've been clinging to a connection that offers nothing but empty rituals and hollow affection. And for the men of Aquarius, if you've been flirting on the side, thinking no one notices, think again. The truth will surface not through drama, but through quiet exposure. You will be faced with a choice: grow up or walk away. No more hiding, but fear not, this is not destruction, this is promotion. Venus in Maga elevates those who are honest with themselves. Careers will rise, authority will settle on your shoulders like a well-fitted cloak. Long overdue promotions, invitations to high-stakes projects, recognition at last. Not because they finally see you, but because you stop begging to be seen. Financially, old income models will crumble, making space for new, more sustainable streams, especially if you've freed yourself from toxic partnerships or outdated obligations. This is not just change, this is upgrading. Maga clears the air, places you at the center of your own story and says, you are not escaping the truth, you are becoming it. And in that truth, you will receive more than you ever dared dream. Mercury in Hasta, the surgeon's hand. September 20th by the 20th, Mercury glides into Hasta, the nakshatra of mastery, precision and craftsmanship. No more frantic energy, no more survival mode. Mercury becomes the surgeon, calm, exact, unshakable. And Aquarius, you are no longer merely a player in the game, you are now its author. Your mind, once burning with anxiety, now shifts into constructor mode. You can finally build, not react, not escape, but design. Ideas that have gathered dust for years will suddenly come alive. The person who once ignored your calls, now reaching out. The project everyone mocked, suddenly attracting investors. And those who once dismissed or discarded you, they may return, but on your terms, because you are no longer the same person. You are elevated, you are sovereign. And as your mind stabilizes, so does your body. Many of you will experience a quiet healing, like your cells finally exhaling. Bad habits fall away, sleep deepens, chronic tension releases. This is not magic, it is justice. When the brain stops screaming, the body remembers how to thrive. For those of you who spent years burning out to serve others' ambitions, a single powerful feeling will rise: enough. And that word, enough, is the key that unlocks everything. High-paying work, true recognition, self-respect, financial growth. Because now you are not working for others, you are working for yourself. Hasta rewards clarity. And right now you are building structure from chaos. Karma is no longer a judge, it is your ally. And you, dear Aquarian, are on its favored list. The universe's chosen one to be spoiled. Venus in Uttara Falguni. The new luxury, October 6th. On the 6th of October, Venus enters Uttara Falguni, and the universe turns to you with a smile and says, now you are my favorite. This is not exaggeration. This is fact. What once seemed lost returns, not in the same form, but better. Relationships that were shaky now clarify. Those who dodged commitment, suddenly speaking plainly. Those who lived in emotional limbo, now receiving not just love, but mature partnership. No illusions, no games, just depth and dignity. Uttara Falguni whispers, stop fighting for attention, stop begging for warmth, stop proving your worth, because now it all comes to you effortlessly. You are no longer chasing. You are being chosen. And the more you focus on yourself, the more the world leans in. Finances stabilize, income grows, unexpected bonuses, reimbursements, even literal gifts arrive like blessings wrapped in gold. Those who once suffered losses not only recover what was theirs, but surpass it, especially if you work in partnerships, sales, beauty, service, or innovation. But the greatest gift is not money. It is the feeling that you no longer need to suffer to deserve, to hustle to survive, to shrink to be loved. You can simply be. And in being yourself, you become unstoppable. Mercury in Vishaka, the architect awakens. October 16th, 16 days later, Mercury enters Vishaka, the nakshatra of purpose, of divine timing, of everything finally making sense. This is the moment you realize, all of it, the pain, the confusion, the loneliness was leading here. Aquarius is not just a sign of change, you are the source of it. You were never meant to follow rules, you were meant to rewrite them. And now the universe confirms it. Vishaka turns ideas into reality, not just reality, but the new normal. Your mind, once misunderstood, now shines like a lighthouse. Mercury ignites a chain reaction. Word, action, result, respect, wealth. Conversations become turning points. A single sentence can pull someone from crisis. An idea can birth a business. A connection can change your destiny. And here's the secret. Only truth thrives now. Mercury pulverizes any pretense, but everything real, it multiplies. Karma pays in full. And you, officially, are the universe's darling. Why? Because you stayed true. You didn't surrender, you didn't blend in, you lived outside the mold, and now that very uniqueness makes you visible, needed, priceless. Your reputation grows where you were once ignored. People listen. They seek you, they want you near, not because you begged, but because you became. Venus in Hasta, the crown is sealed. October 17th, and on the 17th, Venus enters Hasta, where Maga began the coronation. Hasta secures it. No more doubts, no more fear, the throne is yours. This is the final stretch, not a sprint, but a carriage ride through golden streets. Venus in Hasta brings structured abundance, luxury with order, beauty with balance, power with wisdom. Emotions, money, relationships, health, environment, everything falls into place. You are no longer managing chaos. You are orchestrating harmony. Want family? It comes. Want freedom? It arrives without destruction. Want recognition? You no longer need to ask. It finds you, and the quality you gain now is the one you always lacked. Wise mastery over your reality, not chaotic freedom, but mature sovereignty. The one who couldn't pay bills is now negotiating with investors. The one who was alone now has a tribe that stands by them. The one who burned out now heals as if reborn. And if once being different meant exile, now it is your invitation to the inner circle. Hasta dislikes clutter. It hates noise. And finally, you understand you don't need to fight. You need to choose. To be the one who selects, not the one who is selected. Financially, this is peak season. Dream offers. Sudden income spikes. First businesses, first real successes from ideas born on napkins. Everything works, everything responds, everything unfolds, not by fate's design, but by yours. You just didn't know you were the author all along. The final word. So here it is. From September to October 2025, Aquarius is not just lucky. You are chosen. Not because the stars smiled by chance, but because you endured, remained true, and now, without drama, without guilt, without begging, you are finally claiming what has always been yours. The universe doesn't reward luck, it rewards loyalty to the self, and you, Aquarius, have passed the test. Now wear your crown, the world is watching, and for once it's cheering for you. Pisces, September 2025 is your cosmic rebirth written in starlight. Oh Pisces, dreamer of the zodiac, keeper of the deep, you whose soul is a cathedral of feeling, whose intuition dances on the edge of the unseen. You who have lived so long in the shadows of other people's storms, absorbing their chaos like a sponge, sacrificing your light so others could warm their hands by your fire. Well-beloved mystic, September 2025 is not a forecast, it is a decree. A celestial edict carved into the fabric of fate. And it says in bold, shimmering letters, you are done suffering, you are done hiding, the veil is lifting, step into your power. This is not a gentle nudge, this is not another maybe next year promise whispered into the wind. This is a bifurcation point, a moment so sharp and irreversible that when you look back, you will not recognize the person you were before. The black stripe, the long, aching stretch of bad luck, mischances and emotional exhaustion is ending, not fading, not softening, shattering, and in its place a life so radiant, so aligned, so yours, it will feel like waking up from a dream you didn't know was a nightmare. Saturn returns to Pisces, September 1st, the mirror of truth. On the 1st of September, Saturn, the ancient taskmaster, the planet of karma and consequence, slips into retrograde motion in your sign, Pisces. And this is not a quiet transit. This is the universe handing you a mirror and saying, look, really look, your sensitivities, your inner chaos, your buried fears, all of it rises to the surface like silt stirred from the ocean floor. No more escaping into fantasy, no more hiding in solitude, no more romanticizing your pain as depth. Saturn demands accountability. It forces you to face what you've avoided, your weaknesses, your patterns, your secret desires, your silent griefs. For Sun Pisces, those born under the classic compassionate archetype, you must now confront the old story you've told yourself. I am the healer, the martyr, the one who gives until there's nothing left. But here's the truth. Giving from emptiness is not love. It is self-erasure. And the universe is done rewarding you for disappearing. This is your moment to release the beliefs that once comforted you, but now imprison you. To thank every failed relationship, every lost opportunity, every dream that didn't come true because they cleared space for healing, to drop the guilt, to stop wearing the victim's cloak like a badge of honor. The time for facelessness is over. What the cosmos demands now is radical honesty with yourself. Let go of the masks, let go of the ways you've adapted just to survive. If it doesn't resonate with your inner voice, it no longer belongs in your life. And most importantly, stop being endlessly kind to those who drain you. That open valve through which your light pours out, turn it off. Only then can you step into the white stripe. Only then can you begin the new chapter. Lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 7th, the final cleansing. On the 7th, the moon darkens in your sign, bringing a total lunar eclipse, a moment of profound emotional reckoning. For Moon Pisces, those whose emotions are their compass, this is not just a transit, it is rebirth. Your emotional body undergoes a deep, purifying quake. The chains of the past, those invisible threads binding you to people who took your energy and gave nothing in return, are cut. You are no longer required to carry their pain. You are no longer obligated to save anyone. Tears are not weakness, they are the body's way of shedding soul sickness. So cry, scream, burn the old scripts, mentally sever every toxic tie. Speak the words, I am free, and mean it, because you are. This is not just emotional detox, this is karmic reformatting. The energy code of your sign is being rewritten. You are no longer the one who always gives. You are the one who creates their reality. And yes, solitude may call to you, but let it be a sanctuary, not a prison, a sacred pause, a time to recalibrate. For Moon Pisces, this eclipse is not punishment, it is initiation. Sun conjunct Ketu, September 10th, the death of the false self. By the 10th, the Sun meets Ketu, the south node of release, the karmic eraser in your first house of identity. This is not a gentle shift, this is obliteration. The false self, the persona you built to please, to protect, to survive, is wiped clean. For Ascendant Pisces, those whose rising sign is Pisces, the lens through which the world sees you, this is a total identity reset. Everything inauthentic is deleted. No more pretending, no more compromising, no more living by other people's scripts just to keep the peace. You are now called to stop being the one who bends, the one who sacrifices, the one who says yes when their soul screams no. Instead, invest in your true talents, those gifts you've hidden, dismissed, or buried under years of self-doubt. They are not just skills, they are your new armor. After this transit, Ascendant Pisces do not just renew, they recode. The old karma dissolves, and the next 14 years you write them yourself. Venus in Leo, September 14th, the Golden Flood. On the 14th, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and abundance, enters Leo, igniting your 6th and 12th houses. And this, dear Pisces, is the first undeniable sign that you have emerged from the darkness. Money returns, not through struggle, but through magnetism. Projects that once floated in limbo now generate real income. People who used your kindness or ignored your help suddenly return what they owe. Morally, financially, energetically. Your gifts, your healing, your creativity, your psychic sensitivity are no longer invisible. They are in demand. Psychologists, astrologers, healers, artists, coaches, teachers, especially those in creative, spiritual, or helping fields, will feel this shift first. September becomes the launch of a new financial era, not by accident, by design. The universe is saying you've paid your dues, now receive. For Sun Pisces, your imagination, empathy and artistic vision finally become profitable. Through art, music, media, esoteric work, therapy, your soul's work becomes your income, but only for those who truly need it. Do not beg, do not chase, do not force. The right people will find you. For Ascendant Pisces, wealth flows through collaborations, online ventures and collective healing initiatives. For Moon Pisces, your hypersensitivity, once a burden, is now a trend. Your ability to navigate subtle energies becomes a revenue stream. Intuition, unconventional solutions, digital or mystical tools, these are your new gold. And here's the rule: any creative, mental or physical effort you begin with sincerity and soul will succeed. Just finish what you start. The universe is now fully on your side. Uranus, Trine, Pluto. September 19th, the Justice Reckoning. By the 19th, Uranus, the planet of sudden change, forms a rare, powerful trine with Pluto in Capricorn. This is not chaos. This is cosmic justice. The hidden is revealed. The manipulators, the energy vampires, the ones who used your softness against you, they are exposed. Masks fall, secrets spill, alliances shift. For Pisces women, no more relationships where you are the therapist, the caretaker, the emotional crutch. You are done rescuing those who only complain and cling to your sympathy. Now only equals. Only those who want to grow, only those who meet you on the same frequency. And if the right man isn't by your side yet, stop waiting, start seeking. Life is too short for loneliness out of habit. That's not virtue, it's a trap. Open yourself, say yes to new connections. Real intimacy is possible, but you must invite it in. Don't wait for someone to crash through your window like a rom-com hero. You are the hero now. For Pisces men, no more chasing illusions, no more playing games. You now choose deep, honest bonds, relationships with space for growth and mutual inspiration. Manipulation over destructive patterns erased. Many of you will meet a woman who becomes not just a lover, but a soul ally. No hidden agendas, no drama. A partnership for the long haul, and a word of warning: do not waste your energy or money on affairs. Side connections are not pleasure, they are leaks, they drain your power. While you scatter your attention, the white stripe remains just out of reach. Loyalty to yourself and to those who deserve you is the key to decades of peace. Mars square Pluto. September 26th, the final purge. On the 26th, Mars clashes with Pluto in a square so fierce it feels like a cosmic exorcism. This is the final cleanse, the last remnants of the black stripe. Fears, dependencies, emotional baggage, toxic ties are obliterated. Relationships that drag you down, they end, often without your intervention. Lies, manipulation, secret schemes, they boomerang back to their source with lightning speed. You are no longer a pawn, you are the director of your fate. The 6th and 12th houses, your domains of healing and hidden power, are now your fortresses. There is no room for liars, energy vampires, or emotional blackmailers. The boomerang of fate destroys all that is false. And here's who to watch: the chronically unhappy who wear victimhood like a crown. The silent manipulators who care while draining you. The guilt trippers, the responsibility shamers, the ones who make you feel bad for setting boundaries. These are the prime candidates for deletion from your life. Do not let them back in, not even out of pity. Pity is not compassion, it is weakness, and you are no longer weak. The final word: you are not the same fish, so here it is, Pisces. September 2025 is not just a turning point, it is your resurrection. You emerge from the black stripe, not just cleansed, but reborn. A new era begins, one protected by the strongest astrological armor you've ever known. This shield? It lasts until 2039. The world will not recognize you, and that is exactly how it should be. Keep the momentum. Welcome the new. Move forward, not just until 2039, but beyond, because you are no longer the one who drowns. You are the one who walks on water, and the tide, it now moves at your command.
And that's all she wrote, my cosmic cuties. Life is full of surprises, but with the right mindset, you can turn any moment into magic. If you found this video helpful, show some love with a like, subscribe for more inspiration, and tell us what you think in the comments. Until next time, stay radiant, stay resilient, and keep climbing those mountains. Meow, off.